Hi guys, this is Ms. Kuban and I'm going to walk you through how to do your digestive system foldable. So you have a paper like this that it's a fold line, not a cut line. So what you're first going to do is you fold the paper to try to get the cut line, or the fold line, excuse me, just in view. So your foldable, you can see the fold line up at the top of your foldable. And the first thing we're going to do is title our foldable. Okay. So the title of our foldable is going to be Digestive System / Process Foldable. And then we need your name on it. So make sure to include your name. So let me zoom in on that. So if there's a little flap at the bottom, you write Digestive System / Process Foldable in your name. Now you're going to need scissors and you're going to cut between the words. So cut up one flap, and now you're going to cut a second flap. Now let's outline where we're going to write. Draw a line at the edge, pull the flap up, and draw. So now you have a square. So now draw a line at the bottom, fold the flap up, and draw at the edge. And then finally, draw a line at the bottom and hold the flap up. So you'll have 3 different sections to write. You have a title at the bottom, Digestive System Process, Foldable, and your name, and you have 3 areas to write. So now we're going to start with, to review, hopefully this is a review of what you've learned through this process. The first thing we're going to do is start with physical and chemical changes. And we're going to create a chart where we're going to look at the physical and chemical changes that happen during digestion. So we're going to write physical over here and chemical on the other side. Okay. So physical and chemical, okay. When you have a physical change, at the end of the change, you have the same substance. You have a different appearance. So like if you crumble a paper, you still have paper. I'm going to zoom in so you can see my writing. The same substance, but a different appearance. Okay? Then on chemical, you will have a new substance. And what might let you know is you have a color change. Or you have a gas production, bubbles. Or you have a temperature change. It gets hot or cold. Those are all indications of a new substance. So you have, for physical change, you have the same substance but different appearance. For a chemical change, you have a new substance, but you could have a color change, bubbles or gas production, and a temperature change. As an example, in digestion, your teeth chew your food. That is physical. Your food has been ripped into smaller pieces, but it's still food. But your saliva in your mouth makes a new substance. Okay. it begins carbohydrate digestion. Okay? Sugars are broken down into a new substance. So as an example of another change that you might do is just ice melting. But again, an example of a chemical change could be like metal rusting. That's just an example. Okay? So again, let me see if I can zoom in any more. Just to show you the physical. Same substance, different appearance. Teeth is an example in digestion where you chew your food. Also when your stomach churns, that mixes your foods, that is physical. Ice melting would be an everyday example. For chemical, you have a new substance, an example of a new substance, you could see a color change, gas production, temperature change. The saliva in your mouth makes a new substance. It begins carbohydrate digestion, as an example. An everyday example would be metal rusting. Okay? Let's move into energy transformations. So it's the second part of your foldable. Your energy transformations in digestion. You have a chemical, C-A-L, my handwriting wasn't very nice, is your food. And that chemical, let me zoom in some more. That chemical, I'm in the middle, chemical, C-H-E-M-I-C-A-L, is turned into thermal and mechanical energy. So in your food, thermal energy would be heat and mechanical energy would be movement. And I think you can add some pictures. So draw a picture of your food. And then thermal heat, draw a picture of what you think heat looks like. Maybe a thermometer with the temperature going up, or a person sweating. And the mechanical, maybe draw a picture of someone running. So add some pictures to your foldable. So again, draw a picture of some food. So add pictures. So you have some food. Then what does heat look like to you? Maybe a person sweating, or a thermometer with the temperature going up. And then movement. Draw someone moving. Maybe draw the stick figure doing those jumping jacks. Okay? The final thing we're going to look at is a chart that's going to show us about large molecules broken down into smaller molecules. Large molecules broken down into smaller molecules. So we're going to open our flat, and we're going to write right there. Okay? We're going to put macromolecule. And a macromolecule is a very large molecule, and it's going to be broken down into a smaller molecule. And finally, into elements. Okay? So the macromolecules that we're going to study, are carbohydrates, and proteins. Okay? So carbohydrates and proteins. The smaller molecule that are going to be formed from carbohydrates are glucose and amino acids. And remember the elements that are, when we did cho, chon, chomps, for carbohydrate, that was one of the chos, C, H, and O, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. For proteins, cho, chons, chomps, it's the chomps. It's carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and sulfur. Okay? Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and sometimes sulfur. carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Okay, so this is what we're creating, your foldable. I'm zooming out. I'm zooming out, okay? Thank you guys for paying attention. Make sure this foldable gets completed. Zooming out. Oops, going the wrong way. You saw my hand. So this is your completed foldable with a title and your name.